Welcome to RoCo Radio Episode 6. My name's SteveTheChimp. I will be hosting today with Chaingear Gaming and Rucker. Now, we had quite a big week in the Rogue Company community. We got Ranked Beta, a new Rogue, Fixer, as you guys can see up there on the RoCo TV, as well as many changes to the game, DMR nerf, some gadget changes. We're going to run through it all right now, and then we'll talk more in depth. So let's see here. First off, Fixer, okay? When the world's elite, this is what they say. When the world's elite has problems they are desperate to solve, and no one else can help, the Fixer soon approaches with a solution and a deal. He is a peerless marksman, and should one choose to accept his terms, it comes at a steep price. He deals in favors, and you never know when he'll come to collect. If you guys don't get the gist by that, based on the videos we've seen, he seems like a hitman, right, guys? That's kind of like his lore, it seems. He gets paid to take people out. And being a hitman, he's got to have a sniper rifle, right? So he is a new sniper. Anyone that's been loving Phantom but getting a little bored with that character, now you have an alternative. He got a new rifle as well. It's a 50 caliber. It's called the Tier. It does body damage of 70, which, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the same as Phantom. And then it has a fire rate of 3.85, a range of 50, handling 15, mag size 2, and reload time 2.4. Now, you know what? We'll talk about him in a minute. We'll go through it all. Then his other primary is the D3D-I. If you don't know what this is the DMR that Talon uses. And is there anyone else that uses it other than Talon?
No. Sometimes people call it Deadeye.
What's that? Oh,
Sometimes
Deadeye.
people call it Deadeye. Yeah.
Okay, I like that better. As for his secondary, I was very excited about this. He got a new secondary in the game called the Warrant. This is a low-profile, light, semi-automatic firearm with a fast fire rate. And it's fast. We'll talk about that. But it does body damage of 21, fire rate of 6.9, range of 14, handling 28, mag size 15, and reload time of 1.7. As for gadgets, he got a new gadget. Just new. He got a cluster smoke and a C4. And then lastly, as for his perks, he got Shredder Rounds, Berserker, Helping Hand, Bounce Back, Life Drain, and Headstrong. Now let's go ahead and go over his abilities. If you guys didn't see, you can actually see by his avatar here, he's got these nice, cool glasses on that are actually part of his gadget. Now, when he activates his gadget, his glasses will start glowing a bright blue, and he can see thermal, basically. And then as for his passive, he has Shrapnel Rounds, which what that does is when you damage an enemy with a firearm, it will slow them for a duration. As for his mastery rewards, this is his avatar. For audio listeners, it's just his face with the crown on and 2 bullets from his sniper behind him. And then he's got a banner. It looks like he's from Atlanta. It looks like that's his hometown. Yep. So if you're from Atlanta, hey, this might be your guy. And then he's got this border. Pretty cool. It's gold. Has another crown on it. And then a spray with the crown on it. He really likes crowns, it seems. One day, maybe he'll get a skin with a crown on him. And then as for his mastery emote, it's the Boogeyman. Okay. So now that we've covered all of the things that have to do with Fixer, let's go ahead and talk about them, guys. Let me just go ahead and pull up on the TV for people to stare at while we talk about them. How do you guys feel about this character?
Rucker, you want to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. I think he's really good because, and this is coming from a competitive standpoint, and I can get to his guns and stuff later. Competitively, the meta right now, at least at higher tier players, these are guys that I'm watching playing these CMG tournaments that are winning it. The meta is basically everybody's running rogue with smoke, and you utility dump smokes to get rid of trophies, and then you utility dump like tear gas and other stuff to get rid of the trophies. Then you smoke, and then you plant. That's kind of the meta right now. So this kind of is a direct counter to that meta. Now, I do think there would be a couple things of how he could be better, such as if he had tracker rounds, then that's where I'm saying he would take a step up on the tier list and just be absolutely insane. And every squad will run him because one, you counter the smoke plants, and two, when you shoot them and they show to your whole team, I mean, then they could shoot through the smoke as well. So that's just a direct counter to smokes overall. As far as a sniper, I do actually think a sniper is better than Phantoms because it's not such, Phantoms is a high risk, high reward. Like he got to hit the head or it's game over basically because it takes so long and they can run away before you can get another shot off and everything. It shoots so fast and it's got 2 bullets where you don't really necessarily have to always go for the head. If they're running, you could tap them real quick, twice to the body and they're down. It's going to do 140 damage. So I like his sniper over Phantoms as well. And then his secondary is just completely nasty. Like the Warrant just shoots incredibly fast. And I believe it's 15 bullets, which is more than enough to get the job done. So what do you think, Shane?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I guess I want to set the stage. I am the kind of person that thinks, and a lot of people, dude, Twitter. I love Twitter. I love Rogue Company Twitter specifically because people just throwing their opinions out there. There are a lot of people that think snipers are trash. And I'm not trying to listen. A lot of you guys are my friends out there, but I'm just saying I think it speaks to maybe where your skill level's at with snipers. In particular, maybe you're an incredible rogue master when it comes to Saint, but when it comes to snipers, I think your skill starts to, speak for itself. Snipers in almost every game are like S+ tier if you're good enough. If you're good enough, a sniper can kill at any range. I play a ton of Destiny. I'm telling you now, I play with some top 5%. I think right now one of my guys is at top 2%. And these guys can body you. They can headshot you from the closest range, like a shotgun, or they can hit you from as far away as humanly possible. And that's the point. So if you're good with a sniper, there's a reason where you're seeing some of these top teams always run a sniper, because if you peek, you're dead. Comparatively to if you're running a DMR, which is very popular, if you peek, you might get shot once. It still might do a ton of damage. It might do 53 damage to the head, but it's still not going to kill you instantly. So I'm starting there with the baseline. I think Fixer is incredible, but I'm with Rucker on this one where I don't necessarily think he's like S+ tier all the time, because if you can't always get the headshot, right, which sometimes it's not feasible, sometimes it's better to go for the body. There's no the support. Sometimes you can really screw it up. I think the skill cap is really high on Fixer. I think the floor is pretty high as well, meaning you have to step up to get to actually be good with him, to actually utilize him, where I don't think that's the case with Phantom. Phantom has tracker rounds. Phantom, you'll hit somebody and you body them. Just hit them in the body, do that 70 damage, and everybody can follow up. They can go, there's sniper. I can evade or I can push or whatever. But with Fixer, you drop a giant cluster smoke. That thing's massive. You're the only one that can see. You body someone. If you don't follow up with that second body and hit, it's over. You lost it. It wasn't worth it. You lost it. It doesn't matter. I've been streaming a bunch with Fixer. I know Steve's been streaming a bunch with Fixer. I've been watching him. Sometimes he comes through. He'll go in the smoke, snipe somebody. He'll let them come in the smoke, snipe somebody. But a lot of the time, we'll only get a body, or maybe we'll miss the whole clip, which is only 2. So if your skill level isn't high, I don't think you're going to have fun with this character. But when we talk about high skill level, I think he's great. Two of the things that we talked about the sniper, we talked about the secondary. I agree wholeheartedly. The cluster smoke is definitely a bit of a game changer, in the sense that it's basically like the MIRV launcher, which is the rocket or the grenade launcher that Dima has, that has the cluster grenades, but instead it's just smoke. It's a little weird to get used to because you like hit it and then it like explodes and then it has to hit the ground first and then it releases, which is a little different from the normal smoke. But it's a wide I don't know, amount of space that it takes up, especially if you level it up. Doesn't last a really long time. Double it up with the C4. We all know how everybody feels about C4. It's still very strong. It's not as strong as it used to be, but it's still very strong if you use it correctly. So again, I'll shout out to you, Steve. I've seen you jump around places, throwing that thing across, and like being able to get some kills with that, or just putting it on an angle and someone trying to push you because you're a sniper and you just light them up. And that's been good. The perks, though, I think this is where I'll end it, is the ability, the thermal vision. It's sick. Completely disrupts the smoke meta. The perks, I think, are okay. I think shredder rounds is weird for the sniper rifle. I think it actually is really good with the pistol, but I don't know. I think it's not that great. Berserker, I don't really think it's a good perk personally. I think it would be cool if it regenerated ammo when you were running or something. Maybe if it costs a little bit more, but I'm not a huge fan. Helping Hand, I love it on every character. I think it's a higher tier perk than people think it is. Bounce Back, I think, is good, very good for a sniper. Life Drain, I think, is very good for a sniper. And I think Headstrong's good. I think again, especially for a sniper. So I think that those three are good. Actually, those four are good. But I think if you replace one possibly with the tracker rounds, would be good. The only issue I have with him is his passive ability, the shrapnel rounds. I don't even know if it actually does anything. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on that, because again, if shrapnel rounds damaging an enemy with a firearm will slow them for a duration. I have no idea.
Yeah, so we can get into that in a second. I know Steve's been maining this character for a while, so I'm curious to see how he thinks he is. So what you got?
Oh, I got a lot for you guys. I've been grinding this character. Sean's been seeing me, has been seeing me pop off on this character left and right. Nope, that was with Ronan. Anyway, so basically I realized I'm never going to switch off Fixer, because as soon as I do, I start costing again. But I'm going to run through it all again. I know you guys just ran through it all, but I got a lot to say. So for his tier, the sniper rifle, that's TYR, by the way. The tier sniper rifle, I'm with you guys. I love it so much more than Phantoms. I thought when I first took him into the shooting range, I was severely disappointed as soon as I saw, wait, I have to reload every 2 shots. Every 2 shots. And if you guys don't know, he does this awesome animation when you reload. He just catches the bullets midair and throws them in. It's really cool. But I thought that was going to be a big bummer. I thought that was really going to bring him down and keep Phantom on top, but it didn't. I don't know why. I don't know if it's his. I think partly it's his scope. His reticle on the scope is so much better. With Phantom, it's the classic crosshair lines, right? With him, you got a big bright white dot. I don't know. You really got to play with it to see what I'm talking about, but it feels way easier to hit those headshots. As for the secondary, guys, this, in my opinion, is the best secondary in the game. This thing shoots as fast as you can shoot. Like, as fast as you can click that mouse or pull that trigger, it'll shoot borderline. I mean, maybe there's some people that can beat it, but at least for me, it shoots as fast as I click. This thing, how much damage does it do again? Is it 20 to the body? Is it 21. Yeah, so what's that, about 5 shots? And those 5 shots happen fast. A real nice way to use his kit that I've noticed is, since it's so easy to hit with his sniper, and you only have 2 rounds per mag, what I've been doing, at least if they're close enough, I'll hit them in the body on purpose just once, flip over to my secondary, couple shots, they're dead. It's super simple, super effective. As for his cluster smoke, this thing is awesome. So basically, what happens is you throw it, it lands, it'll pop out like a couple gremlins or something into 2 separate parts, and then puff out smoke. And then if you upgrade it once, it'll last longer, which is helpful for his ability because his ability outlasts the smoke usually. And if you upgrade it again, it'll actually pop out into 3 smokes, which is a little too, like, I don't ever think, I mean, unless there's a huge lane you want to block off, it's never really that useful to have 3, but it's cool. It's cool to look at. And then C4 is not in the glory days anymore. It's still a really good gadget. It's probably, if you're within range, since they're so much heavier now, it's still the deadliest for sure. But it's not like it used to be. So I definitely take the smokes right off the bat. Like, especially with this ability, you want smokes before you ever get that C4. I do disagree with you on one thing, Chain. I think the perks are fantastic. The Headstrong with the buff, Life Drain, and Bounce Back, these keep this guy going throughout the round. He can't die. He can't die unless you screw up. Especially with Headstrong, the buff they gave to it, with him, if you play him correctly, which if you're playing a sniper, guys, why don't go in the front? Like, stay in the back, help your team, support them, hold an angle, smoke them out, use your gadget. You can see, he's not only is he a great counter the smoke meta, which is so useful because the smoke meta was getting a bit annoying, but also he's an insane counter the Phantom. Phantom could throw her little glitter bomb out wherever she wants, and she won't be able to see through it. She'll just be watching it to see if anyone walks through it. You turn on your ability, you can see through Phantom smoke with this ability. It's not just normal smokes. And there have been so many times where Phantom is holding the lane as usual with her glitter bomb. I turn on my gadget. She doesn't see me at all. I see her glowing bright red, and I pop her in the head, and she's out. And then with what I was going to say with Headstrong, if you're playing far back, if you get damaged at all, back off, get in cover, hold F, or what is it for you, Chain, on console?
Square, reload.
Square. Your character will kneel down, you'll repair it, you'll go back to 125. Or at least you will go back to 125 once your health goes up with you. This guy, he has an insane kit. The only way I could see him ever not being meta is, one, if they do something to make the smoke meta not viable anymore. I mean, this kind of hurts the smoke meta a lot, but it's still fun. People are still going to be doing it.
I'm gonna jump. I don't think. Yeah. So on defense, it hurts the smoke meta. On offense, it helps the smoke meta because he could throw a smoke, and then let's say usually what we've been doing before this character is out, I would waste my tear gas and my ensign to get rid of trophies. Our other trench would waste his tear gas to get rid of any remaining trophies. And then we'd smoke everything, and I would go to plant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But while everything's smoked, if they wanted to run through the smoke and shoot me on plant, they could. Now they can't, because if Fixer throws his smoke and thermals while I'm planting, if they try to run through to shoot me, he's going to get the shots on them before they can see me, which ultimately helps the smoke meta on attack. That's where I think this character's, really big, which is on the attack. So I wanted to touch on that. Another thing is, you said his perks are awesome. I kind of disagree. And this is why I think this character could be taken up to like S tier if one thing was done, and that's tracker rounds. He doesn't need life drain, I don't think, personally. Like, he's all the way in the back anyways, like you said. Like, you're going to get your health back unless you get bodied in your one-on-one. So I think right now the character is very selfish, but he's really good against the meta, so that's why I like him so much on the team. If he had tracker rounds where he can contribute more to the team, that's where I think he would be, S tier and a lot better. But I just want to touch on that because I don't think he needs life drain.
So here's what I'll say about life drain. I agree with you for the most part, but life drain, in my experience, especially with playing him this week, it is really useful to have that when you need to start pushing and being aggressive with Fixer. There's going to be a point sometimes where you can snipe the best you've ever sniped. You could do amazing one round, but your teammates could go down, and it could leave you with a 1v2, 1v3, and you have to push up on them, especially with the 2 bullets. You'll run out. Someone could, if they're all pushing you at the same time, which this has happened to me many times. I'll run out of my bullets, pull out my secondary, down someone. They get me the almost 1 health. Down someone with my what's it called? Blood drain.
Life drain?
Life drain.
Life drain.
Yeah.
Close enough. My life drain will give me a bunch of health, and I'll be able to clutch up the round and get the other guy. So when it comes to playing aggressive, it works out really well.
Real quick, real quick. One, I want to go on record and say I don't think that they're horrible. I don't think the perks are horrible. I'm with Rucker on this one, where I don't think you're gonna not see Phantom. I think Phantom is a great support. She is more support capability
Yes.
in the sense that she's less selfish, and there's a lower I think the floor is lower for her. I think she can get in, she can miss a bunch of shots. She could be like, oh, missed. Oh, let me try again. Nope,
Yeah,
missed.
I
She doesn't
agree.
have to reload. You know what I mean? But I think the
She's
other
more
thing is that
forgiving.
yeah, and she doesn't have to go for headshot. I'm not terrified of my friends trying Phantom who maybe aren't the best snipers in the world. Like, they might hit the body, and that's okay. I'll tell them, go for that. It's okay. Hit the body, light them up so I can see them, and then we can work it. You can play it more support. 70 is no joke. 70 to the body is no joke. And so I think it's really helpful. But I think with Life Drain, you're speaking from a carry standpoint, and snipers aren't snipers. They're not carries in the same way where they're duelists, right? Like a duelist, you want a duelist to go out and just shred. Which at some point we got to get into a conversation about duelists. I don't think they're in the greatest spot, but that's okay. I think we're in a gadget heavy meta right now, which I don't think is going to change. But I don't know, duelists, I think need a little bit of a kick. But I think in general, like a sniper can carry, right? I mean, a sniper can, especially tier can get 2 headshots, boom, you got 2 down. The other 2 are like, like they might be in trouble. But I think what Rucker is saying is Life Drain is a selfish perk, which is okay. But if you already have Bounce Back, right, which is a great sniper perk, like you said, I mean, and Life Drain is too. Get rid of one of them. Get rid of Bounce Back. Get rid of Life Drain. One of those, and give us tracker rounds. And I think he goes S tier. Now, they might do it on purpose, to be completely clear. They might have been like, that's too much. We can't give this man tracker rounds. And the only other thing that I want to mention before we jump back to the passive ability, because I want to hear what you guys have to say about the passive ability.
Oh, yeah.
But the pistol, the Warrant, I do think it is the best close range at this point. I do think, mark my words, I do think we're going to get a some sort of pistola, shoddy, little mini shotgun pistol at some point. I do think we're going to get that.
I've been waiting for that.
I think that'll be king of the close range. I think it'll have like 2 shots, and it'll do like a fair amount of damage. But I think that might be pretty good at some point. But I think that this is pretty good in the close range. The range is pretty. It's at 14. I still think the Executioner is better. I think the Executioner is just the most well-rounded. I do drop my Warrant for an Executioner. I don't swap for anything else. I think the Warrant is still really good. Also, mouse and keyboard, definitely different than controller. I have seen people spam diehard GG. I was watching him play first. He was the first person I saw play Fixer. And he was like, I remember he was using the sniper, and he was like, yeah, this thing's good. And then he like swapped, and he's like, the Warrant is like almost better. He's like, I'm not swap. And he like found like an SMG. He's like, no, I'm gonna keep the Warrant.
Yeah.
And he was bodying with it, but I do think the fire rate 6.9, which is fast. It's very fast, as you mentioned. You could like spam it, and you're not hitting max fire rate. But I personally, Executioner is better for me, but I main Dahlia, I main Trench. So these are medium range characters anyway. And so I'm not usually up close, like spamming my pistol. Like I'm just like ting 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 done. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to, Chain basically said what I was going to say to you, Steve. You brought up like 1v3s. Those are very scenario based.
That shouldn't be happening.
No, it shouldn't be happening. That's for sure.
Whereas the task is you get bomb, you go to the site and you plant, and that's where I'm talking about, where the tracker rounds would just add to that. And I agree, maybe giving tracker rounds would just make him extremely OP, and that's why they didn't do it.
Probably.
And then I want to touch one more time before we get to the other thing, the crosshairs that you're talking about. So the problem with that is Phantom's crosshairs are very thick. The line is not like really thin. So there's the problem, because it's really hard to get on their head when they're like behind a trash can or something, just because the crosshair is the whole size of their head, especially if they're farther away. So, and his is just a dot. So I think that's where his sniper is better too, because it's a lot easier to put a dot on someone's head when you can still see their head versus putting a line on their head where you can't see their head with the line on it. So just want to say that. And then I do notice the slow Chain. I had Steven shooting some bots in the shooting range. I noticed a slow, but you don't really want to, like, that's not really good for a sniper, because you're just going to tick them and then tick them again, and they're going to go. I understand, like, if they're trying to run away and you hit them once, they'll stutter a little bit, and it'll just be a little easier to track them. I think where this one's huge is for the DMR. because if you're hitting them with multiple shots, they're going to instantly keep getting slowed. And so they're not going to be able to get away as fast. And it's like going through tear gas a little bit. Like, when you go through tear gas, you're just a little slower. It's like going through that. So I wish we had like a video or something I could show you. But basically, like, he was shooting them with the DMR, and he'd shoot them once, and they like kind of stutter and then run again. It's not that long of a slow though. But that's where I think if multiple shots would make it longer, and that's where the DMR, the passive, really works with the DMR.
Do you think it's good?
I do, but only for the DMR. Like, I think if you were playing with Fixer and you play with the DMR over the sniper, I don't know if you've done that yet, but you might notice it a lot more, and it might help you get the gun.
I think I was using it, and I was just I went into the shooting range, and I was like shooting it, and I was like, I'm just not seeing it. And maybe it's, to be completely fair, how many like frames are you guys getting? I know you guys are playing on PC. How many frames do you guys get? Yeah, so I'm wondering if, like, when you're way past the 60 FPS, like, it's easy to see. For me, I'm like, I'm really not seeing it. Now here, let me be very clear. I play Paladins, again, which I know sometimes I say Paladins and some people go like, well, I don't know what that is. It's a high res game. The guys that made this game made Paladins. Slows, any type of status effect happens in those games a lot, particularly like slows, and even just like complete freezes or not being able to move, which you don't want in this game. It's not that kind of game in Rogue Company. So I was really surprised that they even had slows in the game outside of like, trenches, outside of a gadget where that you could technically evade. I don't want it. I'll be completely honest. I don't think shrapnel rounds is very, I think people are using this character not even using shrapnel rounds at all. Like, I don't think they're thinking about it at all. And I have yet to be shot by the shrapnel rounds and then be like, oh no, like Grievous Wound is not a perk you think about, but it is incredible. You hit somebody, I love Grievous Wounds. I'm sorry. When I play Phantom and I hit him with the DMR or the or the actual sniper, the full body, and I've got tracker rounds on there, they know that person's not healing anytime soon. So they have time to work it and get in there comparatively to like, go, we gotta get the down. That's not happening. Where in here, you're like, you tag them, and maybe you're right with the DMR, maybe it is better because you can hit them once in body, or maybe you'll hit them once in the headshot, and then you have a little bit more time to hit the headshot again. But I don't know, man. I think I would have liked to see something else. And honestly, I'd like to see maybe a rework or something. That way people actually care about this passive. I don't want it necessarily to get stronger. I don't necessarily want to see a bunch of slows in this game, because then you'll see a lot more DMR gameplay with him, and you're just going to see him being used for the utility of being slow. Like, he's just going to be like, oh, you're slowed, and that's going to be annoying. But I don't know. I know, Steve, you've been playing with the character a ton. Yeah. So have you noticed this?
So here's what I'll say. I was worried when I read it, it'd be too oppressive. When I read that his passive would slow people down, I was like, man. Like, not only does that passive not sound super crazy useful for someone like a sniper, which, by the way, I noticed this is a lot more noticeable and useful when you're using his DMR, when you're trying to track them while popping off one shot at a time. As for a sniper rifle, like I said, you have two shots. Slowing them down once doesn't really do too much. But honestly, after playing with it, it's barely noticeable. And I don't know about you guys. I haven't had too many encounters with another fixer on the other team shooting me. And I really haven't noticed it at all. And I don't really notice it. I barely notice it. I only notice it when I use the DMR. I barely notice it any other time. So I don't think it's oppressive. I think it's honestly kind of useless. I don't think it helps that much. I tried out in the shooting range where they have the characters that just run around in circles.
Yeah.
And if you use it in there, they just kind of stutter real quick and then they continue. It isn't too bad. It's like literally just if someone accidentally hit S on their keyboard when they were sprinting and then started sprinting again. Like, it's super quick, super minimal. So I don't really think it's a bad add. Honestly, with how good his kit is and how good his ability is, it's totally possible they're like, we got to give him passive. Let's give him something that can help with tracking people long range, which it does help with that. but like let's just give him something that helps but isn't too oppressive. And I think they did a good job with keeping it balanced. But yeah,
get out of here.
I kind of would rather I would kind of rather them give him something different. But I can't think of what I'd like. I don't know.
Hey man, there's been a lot of gunfights that I get into, and I'll get them down to like my below 5 health, and they get around a corner. And with slow, that's not happening. So I'm just saying, I think a little more experience, like you're gonna notice how I think this is actually pretty good.
A lot of my fights are long range.
I don't think it needs to be buffed. I think the slow is perfect, and it's only really with the DMR because 2 shots, regardless how fast they're going, it's not gonna be that hard.
That I don't like though. Like I don't like it when someone says a passive, which is like the whole point, the second point of the character, basically, comparatively to just using a template, like a character that had no abilities. I think that's what it is, right? If the character had no slow and I was using it as a sniper, I had no passive, then whatever. If Fixer had no passive, then I wouldn't care because I use the sniper. So it's like, we got to do something. I think I think something needs to be tweaked a little bit. Maybe if the more damage that's done, the more the slow is. So if you hit with a sniper, they slow more, maybe for less time or something like that. But I just don't like currently. I'm not sure, but I think you're right though. I think more time. I don't think they need to just start changing things. More time. I'm looking at Radthar for a video. I'm looking for Die Hard for a video. To be frame by frame changes here, which shouldn't be too hard to do, honestly. But I can't. I'd love to see 150 FPS. I'm a measly console pleb. I'm getting.
It's very fast. 60, so, like it's extremely fast. Slow. Like it's just boom bang and you're back.
Yeah. Cool. And yeah, I'm with Rucker. I think maybe the reason I don't have too much experience with it affecting my gunfights and helping me in gunfights is, Rucker, is this happening? Are you playing like by yourself and this is happening? Because what's happening with me is
I don't have Fixer.
Oh, I thought you just said that were you
talking
He's
been playing with you. He's been playing
with you and watching you.
Talking about you.
Oh, you noticed it on my end. Oh. Well, then I guess I'm just not very attentive,
bro. I just got eyes, bro.
You're sniping. I think that's what it is. Is he's saying like because you're sniping, he's able to maybe like get his shots off when you're sniping, but it's not affecting you because we got 2 shots in the mag. So
you're saying I'm like, helping you get the kill when I slow them down. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying that I think a lot of people aren't seeing the slow, and I'm seeing the slow.
Gotcha.
So I think that's what I'm saying. I think my last point on it is I think Fixer's great. He's, by the way, also this is my definitely my last thing on it. Fixer's also the best looking character in the whole game or in any game I've ever played.
Oh, he's a stud.
Let me put this out here, and I'm like just in general, I'm a big advocate for diversity in games, and I've never seen a more diverse roster.
For real,
in my life. And I don't get me wrong, like fantasy games are cool, like Overwatch, like where there's like I don't know, like
Gorilla.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they've got all these like random characters, like whatever. Like Paladins literally has like demons and stuff in it. Like it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
This is just straight up humans. They're all mercenaries, and they have like even the diversity within characters. Like sometimes when you get a black character, you'll just get like the same type of black character. There are 4 black characters in this game, and they're all wildly different. So like I think I think
2 of them are goated.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're so, like they're in their plate, like right, they're played. You know what I mean? It's so nice. Like the women, there are at least 6 women, which is like a third of the roster. I mean, and I'd love to see more. And they're not like just like waifu bait material. Like it's all like it's good, it's great.
And for those that don't know about women, there is rumors that there's 2 new female rogues being tested right now. So.
Oh my
god!
I'm sorry.
Bulwark is definitely one of them. We know that Bulwark's one of them.
They're doing so well. I gotta say, that's my number 1 thing right now. I've been just on a high with this. Every time I log in, I just look at Fixer. I'm like, yes, let's go.
Yeah. So to summarize a Fixer as we wrap that topic up, he's fantastic. He is meta right now. I would put him S tier easily. You grimaced.
I don't think he's S. I think Track Arounds is S.
You're wrong. And
wait, you think he's S tier?
Yeah, I think
Steven
he's S tier.
does.
And then you think he's A tier?
In ranked at least he's S tier.
I'd say he's probably A or B, and I wouldn't even necessarily say he's meta yet, just because he hasn't been out long enough for me to actually like. These people are still playing like these tournaments and stuff with the characters that they've been winning them with and are comfortable with. So nobody's really tried him out in a competitive aspect. I think he has the tools to be in a competitive team. I just haven't seen it yet. So that's why I think he's like probably B right now. Track arounds would definitely bring him up.
Oh, he said B.
No way.
Yeah.
Rucker, come on, man. You've been, bro.
Hey,
hold on.
Listen, a lot of B characters are being played in tournaments. Listen, we'll do the tier list. We'll get to that all like probably
That's
next
fair.
week when we have ranked.
That's fair.
Let's power through the rest of these patch notes and let's get to rank because I want to talk about rank.
Okay.
All right.
I'll say one last. I will say one last thing.
I did his last point.
Here's my last point. I have played Fixer, at least in ranked, on attack and defense on every map, and have done exceptionally well every time. Not saying my skills. I'm just saying I've never had a moment on any map on either side because he has a DMR for those short range maps. I've never had a moment any of those rounds where I was like, oh, he's not good on this side of this map, or he's not good on this map.
Rucker's not talking about bronze tier players though.
No.
He's
Yeah.
talking about,
I'm just saying,
he's talking about
no B tier play rogue can be played every time and do well. He's at least A. Get off my face.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
Or
I
out
don't
of my
agree
face.
with that at all, dude.
Okay.
I'm not arguing with this. Let's
fine.
have some more time. We'll get back to this next.
Agreed.
I hate hanging out with wrong people. Here, so, yes, guys, I'm going to go ahead and pull it up on the TV now. Ranked Beta is out. I'll go ahead and read through it all, and then we'll go ahead and talk about what we think of it. So, Ranked Beta is a competitive game mode meant to test the skills of every rogue and provide more intense matches than ordinarily found in casual queues. I don't know about that, Rucker, right? We had a lot of sweats in casual. But it is...
I have a point to that I'll get to.
It is currently in a beta form, which will see more features and seasons/rewards. Let's go in the near future. Now, they left a little bullet point list on everything about it. So players must be level 30 to participate in the mode. Players can earn up to ranked level 30 through experience. So how that works is, I'll go ahead and actually, before I finish the bullet point, I'll pull up the tiers right here. So there's 30 levels in Rogue, and you level up throughout them. And we'll talk about how that all works after I'm done reading all this. But bronze is levels 1 to 4, and then silver from levels 5 to 9, and then you'll be gold from levels 10 to 14. Platinum is 15 to 19. Diamond is 20 to 24. Master is 25 to 29. And then if you ever hit Rogue rank 30, that's called Rogue. It's just called Rogue. So let's see what it's next. So experience is gained from winning matches in ranked mode. However, you will lose experience for losses. There are rewards for playing 30 ranked matches and a reward for reaching Rogue rank in the beta. Ranked beta will be played in the demolition game mode only. Ranked beta will not use the current skill-based matchmaking and will prioritize matches where the players have comparable skill ratings. Players will be able to queue in this mode in any sized party. And lastly, ranked beta matches will award 10% more mastery experience, which I really like that touch. So, and the last thing I'll say here before we talk about how ranked works is those rewards for playing 30 matches of ranked. It doesn't matter how well you do. If you play 30 matches ranked, you'll get a nice banner. It looks like an atomic bomb type of deal. And then if you ever reach Rogue rank during this season, which is basically season 0, they call it, you'll get this cool avatar. It's just a skull with a crown and a red background. So, all right. This is how ranked works. We just found this out, 2 days ago. It just released 2 days ago from recording this episode. It really caught me by surprise how they have it working. So how it works is there's no placement matches, which I was shocked by. You start bottom of the barrel. They put you at bronze 1, which is all the way at the bottom, 1 to 30, right? As you play, when you win, and you guys let me know if you've seen any description. I can't speak, dude.
Discrepancies?
That's the one.
Got you.
But when you win, you get plus 24 ranked points. I guess they call it, maybe. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah.
Plus 24 ranked points, which is like almost a quarter. It looks like every 100 points makes you go up a rogue level. So that's like almost a quarter of a rogue level. And then if you lose, you only lose 6 ranked points. Have you guys had the same deal with that? Any difference in points? Okay.
But the only thing is, it's so grindy that we're still in bronze. So I don't know if this changes if we get out of it. Or I would imagine, right, that when you get to higher ranks, like not talking levels, I'm talking like bronze, silver, gold. When you get to higher ranks there, that the losing, you'll lose more than 6.
Okay.
Because 6, you can lose 4 games and win 1, and you're
Sure.
breaking even.
Yeah. So that's how the ranked actually works. Now, how it plays, I know a lot of people were having trouble queuing. Chain, you had some issues, right? But Rucker and I, it worked beautifully. Like we got into games as quickly as we would get into casual games. We didn't really have any errors, thank God. Sean Rucker's right. It is grindy, but I kind of like that.
It, though.
Yeah, I kind of like that too. I wonder if, based on how you end in this first season, if they're gonna if you like get a different starting rank for the next season, or if they'll always start you at the bottom. I would assume they always start you at the bottom just because that keeps you playing longer. But who knows? You don't know. But yeah, that's how ranked works. I enjoyed a lot. I don't know how I feel about the structure of not having placement matches. I kind of would like to play 10 matches, and if we do really well, we get started at gold or something. But go ahead, Rucker. You can say what you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that.
Can I go first? Because I did just want to mention I have not played ranked. So I have a couple small things, but I know Rucker's got a lot to say.
Okay.
Go for it.
So I just wanted to put my piece out there. I have more to say about just ranked. I'm happy that they pushed ranked. They pushed ranked from Wednesday to Thursday to Friday. Thank God, because it was a mess.
Yeah.
It was a mess, and I will never not be scared about Rogue Company because they're high res, and I like high res. I would go so far as say I love high res. Like I think they're a great studio, but their past games have a lot of issues still to this day. I will never forget when Paladins came out of beta, and I was like, it's out of beta, dude. This game is still full of bugs. My concern is that they're not going to take their time, and they're not going to triage this game, and they're not going to take their time to make sure there's no bugs. I'm really concerned about that. I don't care right now. Keep pushing. Keep giving us new content. Find some bugs, whatever. But I'm still concerned. I will not be concerned about it anytime soon because it was unplayable on Wednesday. And just to give a little bit more context before I jump back in, is I had a 4-stack. Most of the time I have a 4-stack, but it's not the team that I love to play with. And so it's like I had my team. The team I was like, yo, we're gonna play ranked. We're gonna go in tournaments finally. And I was like, yo, Rucker, can we scrim? Rucker's like, oh, let's do this thing. We all get in. We can't even get into a normal, like, we're not like using up, a bunch of resources to make sure they can find a good game for us. We're doing a private match. We're doing a private match, and it wouldn't even let us do the private match. So I'm getting kind of frustrated with all that, but I'm happy that they move ranked out. The day rank comes out, I get my homies back on. We still couldn't play ranked. To be fair, we are playing on a PlayStations. I don't know if console just people were like, ranked, what's that? Or maybe you had to scroll down, and so they just like, no, I'm just gonna play my game mode. And I bet you more people on console probably play more Strikeout, because I think that we just don't have games like Valorant. We don't have games like CS:GO.
Yeah.
We only have games that are like Call of Duty, which, don't get me wrong, I mean, they still have tactical gameplay, but it's not the same. So that's my piece on that. I am glad they moved it out. I'm still really worried. The other thing is I'm with Steve on this one. Is this is a ladder.
Yeah.
Let's be really clear about it, and that's okay. But this is a ladder. This is a ladder where you all start at the same spot and you got to climb. Now the good thing is, and I think a lot of players are going to do this, if you wait, all the really good players will climb, and then you can climb up a lot easier. You'll go into bronze because you're not playing bronze matches. You're not playing bronze matches right now. Right now, you'll get in and you'll play against some of the best players in the game because they're bronze too. So I think that's a little weird. I'm not a big fan of ladders because it incentivizes people not to play in the beginning. This is exactly what happens in Destiny. People just wait. They just wait, or the really good players will just play immediately right in the beginning, and they're just like, we're just going to dominate everybody, climb really fast, and then never play again. So I'm concerned about ladders. I don't think they're the best. I think people stop playing them after a while because they've reached the point where they want to and they stop. Whereas I think when you do placement matches, it's a little bit different. It just feels a little bit different. That's the only thing I have to say about it. I have not played it yet.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, so I'll jump in right here. I agree with the placement things and everything you guys are saying, but I think placements will come. I like placements. I think that they will come. I think ranked beta, they're wanting to get everybody kind of like a rank, So when ranked beta ends, they'll have like, on the back end, they'll have the information they need to do placement matches and match people, with the correct skill. And then I think placements will come. I don't necessarily dislike the way it is right now. And I know a lot of people are complaining, oh man, this is too easy. I'm just mowing through people, or people are complaining, man, this is so hard. Well, everybody's bronze, guys. Come on. Yeah. What do you expect? Like they don't know, they're not using the system, the SBMM they're using in, regular pubs, which is there. Chain, I know you were saying that you didn't know it was there. It's been confirmed now that it was there, and I knew it was there. And then Steven, you mentioned early, like right when we started talking about ranked, you're talking about how the games were sweaty.
Yeah.
So when you got off, I think you two were talking. When you two got off, and it was just me and Cam, and we were queuing, we 7-0'd twice.
Jeez.
In ranked. What I think it's doing is, which is good. It should.
Thanks for doing that, by the way.
It's taking the 4-man teams and it's matching them with another 4-man team. Because when me and Lamberto queued,
you sure?
I'm pretty sure, man. The guys we were playing definitely didn't have comms. Like, unless they were just incredibly bad.
I think it might have been just random. I mean, it's only 2 games, so it's not a really good.
Oh, it makes
data
sense.
pool.
Why wouldn't you have a 4-stack play a 4-stack though?
I think it'd be random. I think they'd
I
randomly
need
put people
information, dude. I need information.
Yeah.
I think that's. I would love to have. I mean, we could guess all day, but I'm kind of annoyed by that. Maybe it's just because the general population doesn't care about, like, they're like, I don't know what the matchmaking is. Maybe they just have a matchmaking system.
Let's just get Scott on and have him explain it to us.
I mean, that would be nice because you're right. Because Rucker, you're 100% right. I mean, we read it here. It says it's not using the same skill-based matchmaking system. So what was the other one? What was the skill-based matchmaking system? Yeah. And this one's obviously not skill-based matchmade in the beginning, right? Because it's a bunch of bronze teams, unless you have a hidden skill base, which a lot of games do, which is probably why the API isn't out yet. I've been waiting for an API too. For those that don't know, whenever you use like one of those third-party websites, Overwatch Tracker, Rainbow Six Tracker, it's an API. It means it's a thing that you can hook into digitally. I'm like, you plug the cable in, digitally, you connect to, so you can see your stats. We don't have an API yet. We don't know how. Maybe we have hidden ranks and stuff like that. We don't have that yet. So I don't know, but it is confusing. Are we getting matched up with 4-stacks? I hope so. And we mentioned that, I think, last podcast. I was like, I don't want them to split 4-stacks. I want them to match make 4-stacks on the server side. I want them to figure it out without us having to queue up into a 4-stack thing, because you're gonna screw up the player base. So I hope you're right. That's my point. Sorry, go ahead, continue.
Yeah. So I mean, that's all I really had. So I think that is right, because I mean, I need to play more and I'll have a better idea, because I think I've only played about 8 ranked matches.
Yeah.
And when it was just me and Lamberto, I mean, we 7-0'd and we weren't even calming with the other guys on our team. And I could clearly tell that the other guy, they were either just the most chill 4-stack in the world, or they definitely weren't calming. Mm-hmm. Because I was shooting 3 people in the back and they weren't turning around. Like,
huh.
But so and then I mean, obviously, I get that this ladder based makes everything really hard in the beginning, and it might steer people away from playing right off the rip. But I think, and I hope that's only for the beta. Let's say we play this beta out, right? Let's say I'm sitting at Rogue, right? Steven's sitting in Bronze still, and
I'm gonna end the podcast.
Ending the show.
I'm playing, but let's say that happens. Then when Ranked Season 1 comes out, they will have that data to do placement games and actually place you in the correct spot, when you win and lose against people, yada yada. So, I mean, because I really enjoy placements. I was kind of happy that they weren't there because we didn't have our 4-stack we wanted to play with. But I was cool. So I was cool that it wasn't there at the beginning. But
yeah, here's what I'll say. One last thing about the way the ranked works, at least in the beginning. One thing that concerns me, and yeah, I'm with you guys. I hope this is just for the ranked beta, and we'll have placement matches. I mean, even if it's just 5, just give us 5 placement matches so we can get a better.
And they're wanting feedback, and they're reading feedback too.
Yeah, I think
they said, "Hey, give us feedback about this. What do you guys think about it?" Yada yada. So I think they'll listen.
I don't think there's anyone.
I mean, they haven't.
I don't think there's anyone out there that. I mean, I'm sure there is, but I think most people out there would really prefer to be able to do well in 10 matches and get a head start and be able to at least start in gold or something. But my one concern with the way that it works right now is that people that aren't super good at the game or just got it because it only became free a few weeks ago. It hasn't. It got a pretty bit. It kind of. I know it doubled in viewers on Twitch. It was always sitting around 2K. Now it's always around 4 or 5K. Like there's a lot more new people playing now. And the way it's working right now, where it starts everyone at the same place, people are going to come in the ranked and possibly get demolished over and over and over, and now they're not having fun and they don't want to play anymore. When instead 5 or 10 matches, they might struggle, but now they can get placed with other people like them and have a easier time. And they would only have to have that type of struggle in those first 5 to 10 placement matches, and then they'd hopefully have a better rank of where they should be. So that's my only concern. Although, like Jane said, most of the sweaties like us are gonna are gonna climb the ranks right here in the beginning, and anyone that comes in later will be fine. But also, yeah, it does add that weird kind of loophole where if you wait longer to start ranked, you might have an advantage because there's less people at the bottom. So, not a huge fan of that. Hopefully, they do take feedback. Hopefully, people agree with me and want placement matches. But overall, I had a blast playing it. I was so happy after our first match, even though it's bronze 1. I was so happy when I got to my menu and had a rank next to my name. I was like, oh, this is what we're going to be grinding for now. Like, this is going to be the drug now. So, yeah, I'm excited for the future. And, Rucker, I think you might have misspoke earlier. When I'm in Rogue rank and you're in bronze, I will not mind to help you get up the ranks. Don't worry about that, brother.
Roger.
You're my brother after all, right? So
Roger that.
Let's go over this real quick. We talked about this last episode, but we'll talk about how we feel about this. I didn't play it till after that episode. But the canal changes, and it was canals, High Castle, and Windward, right?
Yes.
But canals and High Castle got a way bigger change than Windward. So canals, the middle of the map, that building in the center, it's a lot more accessible and a lot. I would say you could be a lot more strategic with gunfights in there. It's not just everyone get in a cardboard box and battle it out and see who wins. So there's a lot more cover. It's easier to get that to that little platform because they have stairs there now. And they have windows on either side, which add more exits and entrances to either have to watch or be able to access to get into the fight easier without tunneling. Because people, the gunfights, I feel like in that building were always whoever gets there first wins because they can just watch the one door and fry everyone that comes in. So now that there's 2 entry points on either side, I think it was a great change. I'm very happy with it. Are you guys happy with that change?
Yeah, absolutely. Strikeout's actually really, really fun in the middle now.
Good.
You don't just land on one side and get bodied. You actually have a.
That's true.
Chance.
That's one of the sites you have to capture, isn't it? And Strikeout.
Yeah, I will say the side, like if you were to walk in right now where you got the stairs on your left.
Yeah.
That side that spawns on that side is still the better side because they can still get to that window before you can get to the window.
Yeah.
But it's a lot easier to retake, so
Good.
they actually have a chance.
Yeah.
But and then on the other side of Strikeout, like when the Strikeout zone is over by the crates on the right, it's a lot easier for the other team that's spawning down from the other side. So I mean,
okay,
they're both there. So yeah, it's a lot better.
I love it.
I don't even know if we played Canal's demo yet, so I haven't seen how that has run out. I did see that I was watching one guy play as Lancer in a tournament, and he went straight through mid and cut these guys off so fast they had no idea. And these were good teams playing. They just with that window there now, you can get up there with Lancer before. I mean, obviously they caught on after that one round, but that's
Right.
one round win in the bag off of that play. So I don't know. Have to play it.
What about you, Chain?
I love it. 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 I think
Absolutely.
maps can make or break a game. I know everybody knows that. You say Call of Duty Modern Warfare, you say Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, people will start shouting out maps. And they'll just be like, "Oh, I love this map, and this map was crazy. I remember this." See what I mean? Like a Halo, same thing. Like any of these, like legendary, shooters, maps make or break a game. And I think Canals was fine. Now it's like good. Now it's good, and it's still way bigger on Strikeout than Demo. Demos, it's a change, but Strikeout's like playable now. Strikeout's playable. Where I think where I literally was just like, oh, this is unfair. I felt so bad. I'm talking like some good teams I'd go against, and then we would go in there and we'd be like, I'm sorry guys, this is where you're losing. In Demo now, that flank spot it's fun. I mean, you could have a battle in there for a minute. You could have a team fight in there for a minute. Like it's dynamic. Whereas before, especially like you said, depending on the side that you went in at, especially as the flank, right? If you were on offense and you're pushing in there and you go in on that right side and everybody else is pushing on A, and you're pushing in, you could jump up in the window. You could go to the window and look. You couldn't do that before. You had to go in. So now you can go up to the window and just see anybody in there. And it's nice. And I do that flank a lot. I play a lot of Dahlia. And so I'll link up with somebody and then I'll rush that point to try and get in on the first left that you can make to get into the ship. And so I'll go through that spot. I'll wait there for like a second just to like see, is anybody there? No. And then I can check right, check left, push in, and I'm good to go. If somebody's there, it's so much easier for me to see. I win the duel, because I don't lose those duels. You know what I'm saying? So like it's just so nice. It's so nice to see. I love it. So I'll end my rant there, but I love it.
Yeah, I'm with both of you guys. Sean, we have played it on demo, but you might not remember. It was only like one match. This might remind you, Lamberto. He hopped up, like Chain said, he hopped up to the window on the outside to peek in and accidentally auto-mantled inside and got fried. He like jumped into a tank full of sharks, man. There's like a whole team in there and he was like, uh-oh. He got destroyed immediately. But yeah, the fights in there, it's crazy how just a few tiny changes, adding a box, a couple windows and some stairs makes the entire room so much more fun to fight in. I'll sit behind. You can see on the RoCo TV, there's a box on the platform, and I'll sit behind that and hold that window because people like to jump in there. I was playing Fixer, and I would smoke the window and then peek out of it with my thermals. And then people can jump in the window, people can come in the door, people can flank you. Like there's so many different scenarios. Every time I had a fight in there, even when I was losing, I was having fun. And that was the total opposite before this change. Before this change, every time I had a fight in there, even when I won, I was like, I hate this room. It's just a box. And I would honestly never go in there. But now I see it as a good. Sometimes we'll be playing demo and we'll be like, let's just run through mid because we can actually have confidence that it's not going to be an unfair fight, and if we're better, we'll win the fight. So I like that a lot.
Also in demo, you can no longer anvil shield one side and keep the other team from hitting middle at all.
True. Oh my god.
Window.
That is true. That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, people will just block off the door because there's only one door and you couldn't get in. And they could just hop in the window and take them out. Oopsie. I don't know what happened there. Why is everything highlighted? Hold on. Sorry, guys. There we go. As for High Castle, I think I like the change even more than the Canals change, which is saying something because I was really happy about the Canals change. But I'll pull it up on the TV here. So the bridge on High Castle, everyone knows the bridge, or you should know the bridge by now. Before, if people took that slide, is it B or is it A? It's A, right?
It's A.
A. So people would take that tower. If the attack team would plant and hold there before, it was crazy hard to infiltrate, especially if it's a good team. If it's a bad team, you can get in there. But if it's a good team, you might as well just surrender at that point because just start jumping off the map because it's so hard. The only ways in, at least if you're not trying to flank or something and go on their zip line, is that side zip line, which they'll just fry you at if they're playing smart, they'll have someone watching that, and then bridge, and that's it. Bridge, they would just hide behind cover. They'd fry you. You could never get through. Now they have these backboards on either side of the bridge, so you can bounce gadgets, namely grenades. That's the main purpose. But you could also bounce, flashbangs. That's what I was trying to think of. You can bounce flashbangs and flash them and push up while they're blind. Like it has allowed. I haven't played it too much since the change, but I did get at least one kill with a grenade using the backboard, and I was instantly so satisfied. I was like, "Don't sit in it. No one can sit there anymore. I will take you out. Unless you have a trophy, I will take you out." And we were able to push, and we took over site, and we won the round. So a lot more balance, a lot less attacker favored, in my opinion.
Oh, it was just really cluttered and confusing, and this
Yeah.
just adds a lot more simplicity. So
Yeah. I'm with Rucker. I definitely don't like it more than the canals change.
Okay.
As I stated, I love the canals change. High Castle it's just cleaner. It's just much cleaner.
Yes.
I never thought about the grenade banking though. To be completely fair,
Yeah.
I never even thought about that. I was like, oh yeah, like whatever. But now that you mention it, I'm like, oh, that's a good point. So yeah, it's a change. I feel very similarly about Windward too. I like it. Some cute changes that they made there. I mean, the cute changes, but. You can go over them.
Yeah, I'll go over them. But last thing I'll say about High Castle, and this might be why I liked it more than you guys, or at least more than Shane. I think Canals affects Strikeout a lot more, and I don't play Strikeout. I don't think rarely I play it, and I know you play it quite a bit when you're warming up with your team. So, but for demo, there's a lot of times where I never even go through middle. At least with the roles I play on my team.
And you're not a flanker either. You're not
I'm never a flanker. I'm not a lance. I'll play it down. I'm an intel or sniper. Yeah, so I'm always in the back on site. Yeah. So that's probably why me personally I enjoy the Heist Castle change more. But sure. I agree. The canal change is probably more substantial when it comes to how the game plays on that map. Okay, Windward. It's got the slightest change. It's nice though. They did some fall cleaning. So. They got some before and after pictures. If you can notice, like the little steps on this area got flattened. Trash can. It's really hard to describe this without looking at it. You guys might need to look it up online, but really they just kind of moved some environmental assets around and made it a little more easier to get better cover and have better angles on people, and you could just see more. And I'm guessing they changed those little steps because they were nice for looks, but they kind of messed with planting bomb a little bit. It's a little glitchy.
That's what I think.
If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's is that A?
Change with steps. What? Huh?
Okay,
they
look at the TV.
Steps away from the door.
Oh, the steps out at the door.
They're gone now.
Okay, I see it now. All I was seeing was the trash cans.
So whatever the site is, I don't remember what exact. I think it's A. But the long zip on Windward, where you can go across the water and get right onto site, that site had little steps on the corner where a lot of people like to plant. And now those are gone. But yeah, little changes. Sorry about that. I have an exam coming up. So let's go ahead and wrap this up so that I can do something really boring and do an exam for college. So as for gadgets, that's the main thing we wanted to talk about real quick, right? Gadgets got a slight change from this update. The flashbang fuse time was reduced from 2 to 1.75 seconds. And then they fixed an issue where some players would see a hit marker on enemies outside of the flashbang radius. So that sounds really annoying. I think I've encountered that a few times. That makes a lot of sense. Where you get a hit marker, but they're not actually blind, right?
Costed me a tournament, bro.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, I've had a few times where I flashed someone and they fried me, and I'm like, they just got really lucky, I thought, but this probably was what it was. So that's a great change. And then as for the EMPs, they increased the radius from 6 to 8 meters. I think that's great. I think EMPs need to do more for people to start using them. I think they're a little on the weak side right now. But like I said in a previous episode of the podcast, I think as they add more utility to the game, EMPs are going to slowly become like mandatory to have on your team. I think once they add more characters, kind of like Scorch. If Scorch was dominating in ranked right now, which she's not, she's actually pretty balanced at this point. Not a lot of people use her right now because of all the counters to her. But if she was dominating, an EMP could stop her from using her ability. But right now, there's just not enough rogues to use it on right now. Do you guys agree with me there?
Well, like I
Yeah,
said, I think EMPs would be great if they would stop the ability when it was already popped.
That too.
100%.
That
I
too.
agree 100%.
Tear gas radius reduced from 10 to 8. It got a bit of a nerf. I think rightfully so. I think they were too oppressive. So the radius got reduced from 10 to 8 meters. The duration got reduced from 8 to 7 seconds. Sorry. And then the slow effect was reduced from 25% to 20%. And I don't know if you guys know, but that is pretty substantial nerf. That reduces it down 2 meters, or it reduces the time down 1 second. And then the biggest change is the slow effect is down 5%. So I noticed it while we were playing ranked when I was getting tear gas. I'm noticeably able to move a lot quicker than I used to, and it is also noticeable how much smaller the area of effect is. So I'm happy with this change. I think they were too strong.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think I don't want to say that they were too strong. I don't think I was ever like really having an issue with them, but I think just the tuning that we saw with all the explosive grenades, I think that those were good. I think they were more skill based. And I think tear gas was kind of like let's just throw it, like, we'll throw it over there, like. Yeah. And now it's much more like you still have to just be a little bit more tactical with those. And I think the biggest person that was getting, the most out of this was obviously Trench. I mean, Trench had 3 tear gas grenades, and he's just like tossing them around. And so I think that this is a huge deal. I think this is a huge deal. So I like the change. Also, I did want to mention, this is the only other, outside of Trench's barbed wire, this is the only other slow in the game.
Yep.
Just to run back to Fixer real quick, it's not like he couldn't have a bigger slow. I don't know if I would want to see like a 20%, but his slow is obviously small enough that it's like less than 5% or something.
Yeah, probably.
So just putting that out there. But yeah, I think this was a good change.
Do EMPs destroy barbed wire?
No. Wait.
They don't?
No, maybe they. No.
I thought I know they do damage to deployables. I thought they actually got rid of barbed wire.
I haven't bought them in so long. I haven't bought an EMP in so long.
When I play Dima, I always buy them. They're like, and then I always go like double at the very end because you might as well have throwables. So I'm just like throwing them. And it is good, I think, against like Trench and
it throws them off. Yeah.
They're just throwable. They're just kind of throwaway throwables. But I do think they do.
Okay. That's good, because I was gonna say if they didn't, that'd be a good buff to make them more viable in the game right now. So because Trench is honestly right now, Trench might be one of the top 3.
Oh,
maybe one.
Top 2.
He's Dahlia might be one, but yeah, Rucker and I are noticing, especially in ranked now, and we've been doing this even before rank, so it makes sense. But most teams are running Dahlia Trench every round, any map. Like
Rucker's been talking about this since I feel like the beginning. He's like, when Dahlia came out, he's like, dude, every tournament, Dahlia Trench. I told all my guys, I'm like, guys, I main Dahlia. Somebody got to learn Trench. And if I don't play Dahlia, I'm playing Trench. So it's like, I mean, they go hand in hand.
Okay.
I did want to talk about a flashbangs real quick.
Oh, sure.
The hit marker thing, it did cost me a tournament. Okay. I was playing a 1v1, and I was going up against a Dallas, right? Easy win. And I'm playing as Chak.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm throwing flashbangs at him. I get a tick. I turn the corner to shoot him, and the dude like bodies me, bro. Like he sees me still when I was right there after flash. So there's one where
I believe you.
Obviously it didn't flash him, and this happened multiple times. I sometimes I'm flashed and I can still get the kill just by like looking at my mini map kind of. But it happened to me a few times that game where I got a hit marker and I pushed him and he was not flashed. And then I do like the 2 seconds down to 1.75 because it was so easy to roll away from these things, man. They land,
that's
get out of there.
Yeah. I love that change. I didn't really talk about it either, but I agree. And sometimes I think people are like, oh, that's not a lot of time. But in a game where the TTK is less than a second for most weapons, any time reduced is huge. A quarter of a second is huge. The TTKs in this game they're not Call of Duty low. But they are very low. They're very low. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, I agree. The flashbang change, I don't deal with, at least not, I don't deal with using them very often on the rogues I play, but I can see that being extremely frustrating. So I'm happy for you guys that use them, especially if Sean through his tournament. So last thing we'll talk about is Headstrong, because I do got to get going, unfortunately. But let's talk about this buff, because it was we saw this coming a while back. We saw a little video of it. I think we all knew this was going to be a pretty amazing change for the perk. That's already a really good perk to have. But now you can repair your Headstrong as the total repair time is 3 seconds. Which honestly, guys, that it feels really fast. When I do it, I could do it when someone's sprinting at me, that 1v1 me. If they get me down low, I'll repair my health. I don't care if they hear it, which does make a loud noise, by the way. So people will hear you if you're repairing. But it gets, I pop it quick enough to where I can pop it and then whip around. And as soon as they get around the corner, I could win the gunfight. And they're like, how does he have health? Right? So similar to reviving, players will temporarily crouch, and the repair will end if the player moves. So yeah, when you hold F, or you said square, right, on console?
Yep.
Square and X. No. Yeah, X. Your character will automatically crouch. You don't have to crouch for them. You could just hit the button. It'll crouch, and you can't move. So if you need the move, you're just gonna have to cancel out and not have it repaired. There will be an audio notification. Now, I don't know how this sounds on the enemy side, because I honestly haven't heard an enemy use it on me yet. But for me personally, it sounds really loud. Have you guys heard it against an enemy? Is it as loud as it sounds when I'm using it? Or is it pretty quiet?
I don't think players know about the change.
Yeah. It might be a secret
I think
weapon
we know
at this
because
moment.
we go over patch notes, but I don't
All
think
right,
players know.
all you RoCo Radio fans out there, you got a little secret cheat that no one knows about. So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see. When the player finishes or interrupts repairing the armor, they must retrieve their weapon. So yeah, once you're done, I just hit the scroll wheel, basically.
Wait, is that? Oh, I thought retrieve weapon meant they had to go pick it back up.
No, it doesn't fall. It doesn't drop. Unless that's how they meant it, and it's not working for me. When I repair, I don't drop my weapon.
That's what I'm saying. That's, to me, I think this is a bug. I think it literally says they must retrieve it. Nothing changes for me. I do this. I probably with you
me too.
I was playing Fixer, and when I was playing Fixer, like I would fix my weapon, and then I would fix my armor, and my sniper would still be in my hand. There was no issue.
Okay, maybe that is a bug.
Do you guys have auto pickup on?
Ooh, we
do. My God, I never thought about that.
Cheats. That might be it. That might be it.
First of all, I do have to say, I don't think that it's like, I don't think it should be there. I think it's fine. I think 3 seconds is enough time for someone to push you. I think you've gotten lucky, frankly, Steve. I mean, maybe 3 seconds is not a lot of time. I mean, it's a lot of time. Again, we were just talking about the TTKs in this game. Like, I mean, that like your whole team can die in 3 seconds. So like, especially with these type rifles, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know, the retrieving weapon thing. It obviously doesn't even matter if you have auto pickup. So what's the point of that? That might
be it. By the way, guys, Chain actually helped me discover this. I had no idea this was in the game. If you go to your settings and go to gameplay, I can't think of a reason not to turn it on. Turn on auto pickup. What it basically does is if the game recognizes that you don't have a gadget, or you have at least one you can have 2 gadgets at a time. So if it recognizes you have 1 gadget slot at least open, if you run over a grenade or an EMP or a flashbang or any gadget in the game, your character will automatically pick it up. You don't even have to look down at it or anything. You just walk over it. You sometimes I'll be now that I have it on, I'll throw a grenade, and then I'll be playing. I'm like, wait, I have another grenade in my hand. Okay, boom. So it's really good to have on. Turn it on, especially if it's kind of a loophole to this Headstrong nerf, little balancing nerf to where you drop your gun, or it's a bug and it really doesn't do anything right now. We'll see. And then the last thing they say about it is you may not interact with objects during the repair, which that's obvious. So I'll go ahead and say my opinion, and you guys can, and then we'll wrap this up. But I was a little scared of this change. I know Headstrong is still, in my opinion, one of the top 5 perks in the game. I think it's super useful, especially when 1 tick of health could be the difference between clutching and losing. This repair, I like it, and here's why. Yes, I agree that Headstrong was already really strong and didn't really necessarily need a buff. But now that it's in the game, I'm realizing very quickly this did need a buff. Before, if you got hit from a phantom, if you just got hit long range from if you just got ticked by anything, you run through a Vi, you get a little explosion radius on you, and you lose your armor, it's gone for the rest of the round, and you just spent 10K on something you might not even use in your first gunfight. Now that this is in the game, especially for the characters that have it, which they tend to give it towards characters they know will be more long range, it allows you to play that support role or that sniping role or that intel role from afar. And then when you get ticked, back off. You can let your duelist try to distract them. Back off, repair that armor, get back out there, and hold that long range gunfight with people. So especially with Fixer and Dallas, I use it all the time. I just sit back, get those headshots from afar, or just try to put damage down to help my duelist teammates. And if I get damaged by anything, even if it's like 5 hit points, I'll just back off real quick if I'm not needed and repair. And I love it. So I think it's a good change. I do not think it makes Headstrong too strong. I think it just makes being a long range rogue a lot more, fun, balanced. It makes you feel like you can stay far away and still help your team a lot more, I think. What do you guys think of this change?
No, I mean, I agree with what you said. I like it.
Yeah.
If Headstrong were a $6,500 dollar perk, then I think that you wouldn't need to repair it because it's only but a 10K perk, I mean, that's a lot of money, and that
right.
could be all the difference in what you buy your 10K perk as. So I like that you can get it back. I thought it was kind of stupid, and I wasn't even talking about long range. Like, you would just get shot on the cross right when you're crossing, and then you lost it over.
Lost 10K.
Like, you're not going to die on the cross because they don't have enough time to kill you. But if they get a bullet into you, you just lost $10,000.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I like the change.
I agree. I don't have anything really to add. I mean, actually, I would just say that I think the 10K thing is exactly what it is. All the 10K perks are repeatable perks. Life drain, you down somebody,
true.
Every single time.
Yeah.
This was the only one that wasn't repeatable and was 10K. So I was like, a lot of the time I would just forego it just to save the money. And I would just try and play safer. I was like, it's all right. I'll just forgo it. Now it's like one of the first perks I buy specifically for Fixer.
Oh yeah, first perk I buy on Fixer too.
Yeah, so it's sometimes it depends, but I think most of the time, like if I'm gonna play selfish anyway, for the most part, to repeat the thing before where he doesn't have any perks that help anybody.
Yeah.
Except helping hand, which I actually probably do get first.
For planning.
Yeah. Well, sorry. Abilities, not the.
And if I do really well, if I'm doing really well, Fixer, I'll sneak a little of that life drain in there, just a little sneak in there.
Yeah.
Annoy people at close range.
Can I mention one thing really quickly?
Sure.
I know you've got to run. And the last thing that I honestly have to say at all about these patch notes, we went through the patch notes in our last episode. So if you guys want to take a look at the last episode, or you can even go to my channel, Chaingear Gaming, and you guys can see the patch notes. I talk through them. There are a lot of them. It's some pretty major changes, a lot of fixes. I know people were complaining a lot about the Ronin knife. You would throw the Ronin knife, you'd try and pick it up, it would just be gone, and you'd be like, okay, guess I just lost my knife. So I know there are a lot of changes. The biggest one for me that I've been feeling, and again, I'm not going to go on a huge spiel about it, maybe we'll talk about it next time. The DMR changes, you can definitely notice. The range changes in the pistols, you can, well, at least the Executioner, which is my main pistol for, all of the characters I play, you can definitely notice it. So if you're confused about maybe why you're hitting, and with Fixer you might even notice it, brand new sniper, but the range is much lower on that sniper rifle comparatively to the full body. So you might be thinking you're about to hit 70, you might hit 50. So just recognize that the meta I don't want to say the meta has shifted, but if you jump into a ranked tier list and you're trying to climb to Rogue and you don't know these changes, you're doing yourself a disservice. So I literally made a video saying, how can you get prepped for ranked? Learn these changes. Because if you don't know these changes, you're going to go in thinking everything's normal. And then Vi's Nightshade is doing a point more damage, which changes the amount of shots she needs to hit you. I love it. It makes a difference. So at least watch my video or watch the last video that we had. It's totally worth it. A lot of changes, especially every DMR in the game basically got nerfed except the Mamba. But maybe we can talk about that next time.
Yeah, and definitely
Yeah,
check out Chain's Fixer video because he has a. If you don't even watch the video, check out the thumbnail because it's beautiful. And I'm actually working on. I've been editing the past few days on my own Fixer video, so that should be out sometime in this in this future few days. I'm not sure when it will come out because I accidentally recorded a lot of audio and I got to cut a lot of it down because I'm so excited about this character. But yeah, and I might have to steal a couple ideas from Chain's thumbnail. Anyway, Rucker, you got anything you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, I like Vi a lot, guys.
Good. Okay.
I like that.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, thank you, Rogues, for tuning in once again. We will have this up probably on Monday, maybe even today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are all loving Ranked. Let us know in the comments on YouTube or just send us an email to RoCo Radio Live at
Or tweet us.
Or
Yeah,
that's actually
tweet us.
better. Yeah, just tweet us. And let us know what you guys think about Ranked and the changes that came with this update. And we didn't talk about this much, but Ranked had a little bit of a bumpy road in the beginning. We didn't get it today. We thought we were going to get it. But now that it's out, at least for Rucker and I know people were having problems, but it's running very smooth. And hopefully it's still running smooth. I haven't played it in a day or so. But all right. Well, talk to you later, Rogues. It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Peace.